All right. I believe, let's see. It says I'm live. That's step one. Bum, ba, ba, ba. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. And this is a charging cable. We'll plug that into the headset so I don't lose battery. Alright, and now I'm going to go back to FreeCAD and I'm going to post this live stream to Facebook and see if there's anybody who's interested in watching. 1 second. And when we can get the riveting content going. Content. Alright. Stream seems to be working properly. We're gonna do share, copy link, go over to Facebook, and then we will do find the group. "3D print fishing modes and lures." Post that. And we'll just do the one post for now. Alright, let's get started. So the bait I have in mind today, I'm going to call the curly worm, and it'll be for obvious reasons once you see it, but the idea is going to be basically, if I can do like a quick sketch. Basically I want a worm that's going to go like this to start to the for the hook, and then the body will like curl around like a wine cork popper, or like a pig's tail or something, is the idea. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is just do the body section of the bait. That's gonna be easy. We're just gonna FreeCAD. Okay, and we're gonna give it a length. We're just gonna do 1/2 inch or 12.7 millimeter. That should be. You know what? Let's do a full. Let's do a full inch. Why not? Yeah, because we're gonna want some space for that hook. Okay, and now we're gonna do. Well, we're gonna have to do a circle to do the sweep. or the loft, I guess. And then we're gonna make this a 1/4 inch diameter, or 6.35 millimeter. Okay, that looks good. And then we're gonna do one of these guys with the additive pipe along that path. Okay. Could have just done a pad, but I wanted, well, I could have just done a pad. I did that the hard way. I still want this sketch to show for later. And now what I'm gonna want to do is a sketch to like curl over to there. So we're gonna do another sketch, and we're gonna want a radius, a line, and another radius. Okay. I want this to be tangent to that. I want this to be tangent to that. And this to be tangent to that. And I want this to be 90 degrees. There we go. And then next, we need to kind of get this to the right thing. So this is basically going to be 3 millimeter. Well, I want it to taper some. So why don't we make this 15 millimeter? That would make it pretty tight. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do 15 millimeter. And then I can only go out so far there for the mold. I'm going to do my canister mold. So this can only be, yeah, that's too big. 12.7 is the distance out to 1 inch. So it can really only be like 8 millimeter maximum. So let's can't do that. Okay, I think these, it's because, alright, I see what's going on. It's because these are tangent. What if I do this? Make this tangent. And then I should be able to, yeah, that'll work. And then we can do one of these guys and say 8 millimeter. That's not gonna work though, because I need it to, I'm overthinking it. I am overthinking this. And then we can make this 8 millimeter, and then it just needs to come out here, and then needs to do, yeah, this can't be 8 millimeter then. That has to be like 5 millimeters. Okay. close. Alright. And then we're going to do, we need to do a datum plane. Cancel that. Origin, select this plane, do datum plane. And then make our reference that point. Okay, we're good there. Don't need to see the origin. And then we'll come here, select this plane, do a sketchy doodle really quick, and then we're going to taper it. Hide that. Come on. You can do it. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, yeah, I see. I know what's going on. Alright, I need to convert that. There we go. Do one of these. Make that say 4 millimeters. Yeah, make it easier on myself down the road. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to do another additive pipe. Okay. And this time we're going to taper from there down to there. So we'll do additive pipe. Okay, that's totally valid around that. And we're going to do a multi-section, add section, sketch that one. Okay, now we got a little tapered, little tapered hooky doodle there. Alright, that's looking good. And now I need to start curling it this way. So how are we going to do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. No, really, I am glad. If you remember, I think it's this one. Yeah. Remember that sketch. 8 millimeters down from the origin. We're going to need a datum plane 8 millimeters down from the origin. Okay. Or no, you know what we'll do? We'll keep that there. And we'll do a datum plane. No, we need to do the origin so it doesn't get screwed up. And then we select that plane. Then we do a datum plane. And then we select reference object to that point. And there we go. There's our datum plane. Hide our origin again. And then we want to start the curly cue. Okay. So we'll do a sketch. And then it's going to be a pretty tight radius because that only and then how far is that? 5 millimeter. Okay, so I've only got like 3 millimeters to come out here, which is fine. Okay. We need this to be vertical. It's already horizontal. We can shrink that down. This can be 3 millimeters. And that'll work work out. That should work out. I mean, really, I could do something kind of cool here. So why don't I hide that? And then what we're going to do is one of these guys. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Come back to our body, show that. I like that. That's cool. That's cool looking already. Okay, we're gonna need another datum plane. Or no we don't. No we don't. Hide that datum plane. Select this one. Oh no, let me select it. Okay. Oh, I see. Alright. That's why. Duh. Okay. Then we're gonna do one of these. And we're gonna make it, that's 4mm. I can make it go down to 3mm and then curl it at 3mm down to 2mm at the tail. I think will be good. Okay. And then we need to see, not that sketch, but this one. And then we're gonna do another additive pipe. And then we want this one along object, this one. And we want to do multi-section, add section, and that one. Okay. 1 second, I gotta let my dog back inside. Alright, dog is back inside, and I would say behaving herself, but she's not. Okay. And then what I want to do, I want to start curling it down. There's 2 different ways I can do this. To sketch a helix would be difficult. I'm not quite sure how to do that, but I can try. I can try. I might need to search. Let's do this. Let's do this. Alright. If I do... Let's try this. We're gonna drop that open. Select sketch number 5. Yeah. And then I want to do a helix. Was that a removed helix, or I want to do an additive helix. Yeah. Sketch 5, additive helix, and reverse it. Okay. And then I want to do a greater pitch. Like that. That ought to work. Yeah, that ought to work. And then the height, that's an inch. This is 8 millimeters, so that's 33 yeah, 33. So I've got another, call it 20. Got another 33 to work with. Okay. That looks pretty cool. I think yeah, I think I don't like this part there actually. So why don't I do this? Alright, get rid of that. Sketch 5. Sketch 5 I'm okay with. Which one is it? Sketch 4. Yeah. Sketch 4. We'll just do... one of these. Okay. Close. And then sketch 5. Close that. Make this 3 millimeter. That's better. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And now I'll do the helical sketch with sketch 5. And reverse. And we want the pitch to be a little greater. that's better. And then that looks pretty good, I think. Just to make that 7 point. Oops, I didn't want to do that yet. We'll make this 33 and 33. I'll put it at 66, which is, yeah, that's about how long I can do it. Alright, that's looking good. And now we'll just do a radius. Okay. And then we'll do a radius. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Now, you might be thinking, how the heck are you going to mold that? That's a good question. That is a great question, actually. And here comes the advantage of doing a 3D printed mold. I can do multiple section molds. And what I think I need to do here, I have an idea in my head on how to do this. I just need to think for a moment. Yeah, that will work. I'll need this will need to be, yeah, this will need to be a pretty complicated mold. But it's a mold that you can do with 3D printing and not with standard stuff. So we're going to do File, Save As. We're in our Quick Change Mold fixture, so we want Lure CAD. Curly worm. Save. Okay. And then we want to do alright. File new. And this is gonna be a little tricky. 25 point. Okay, so we want to do a sketch, and it's gonna have to be a clamshell. So we'll do one of these, and then come on. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to do 25.4. It's a radius of 12.7. Okay, that's what we want. Close that, and then we're going to pad this. 25.4 plus 8 will get it to... But it can't just be that. Let's pull up the calculator here. So right now we have 25.4 plus 8 plus 33. 66.4 is the length of the sketch of the bait. And then it's going to add 0.15 millimeter for the radius of the tail, which leaves me with 68.9. Okay, that is not a lot to work with, but it is enough. Alright. So we need to make this okay, 1 millimeter shy. plus 33 plus 25.4 plus 8 plus 1, 34.4. Okay, 34.4. I might just want to shorten up that head a little bit just to get more space in here. I think I want to do that. So I will do that. We're going to make this... Why don't I just make it... even 20. How's that look? That looks fine. Okay. So now that's 28. 28 and 33, 61. Which means I can lengthen up the helix a bit. If I make it 1, 2, 3, 4 longer. Let me think about that. 20 plus 8 plus 37. 65 gives, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now 28 and 2.5. 28 and 2.5. Go back to our pad. 28 and 2.5. 30.5. Okay, that's all we need there. File save. And then we're gonna do this. File new. Curly worm. This will be the top part of the mold, so we'll name it top mold. And then we need the rest of that. So we'll do a new. And then one of these and one of these. And then this pad will be 39.5. Okay. File save as. Bottom mold. Okay. And then yeah, so how am I gonna, okay, that's a problem for later. Well, now we'll fix it now. So now I need to do some thinking here. That's 8 millimeters out from center, right? Yeah. So I need to do another one of these guys. Oh, you bastard. Okay. Alright. And then we do 8. And then we do this. Okay. I think that works. File save. And then we do okay. And then we do file new. And then this will be easy. We'll just do 16 millimeter diameter cylinder of length 39.5. Okay. And now I gotta think of how am I gonna index these molds inside of themselves properly. Okay. I need to do a sketch on the bottom here. 2 lines. 2 radius. Okay, make these all tangent. Okay. And then that, and then I can only dun 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 dun. Okay, that works. And then we'll do one of these guys. Okay. Why didn't that work? Alright. Okay, and then this can only be 25.4. And we'll make this sure. Actually, no, those can't be tangent. These can't be tangent. Yeah. No, that doesn't work. First we'll get you over there so I can do this. And then this. And this. And this. These have to be equal. And this needs to be on there. Okay. And then this is radius 25.4. Okay, that's better. And I gotta do the same thing over on this side now. Alright. Oops. Okay. And then we'll make these two equal. Okay. That's better. Okay. I think we're good there now. And then I need to do a pad of reverse dimension. And we're only going to do it 2 millimeters. Yeah. And that will clock it. Save. Bottom mold. Center. Okay. Save that. And then I need to index this properly. So then I need to do I need to do something similar on this one. So we'll go ahead and do this. And that. And that. And this. And then add in the little radius. And a little radius. Do that. Oh my gosh, why are you freaking out, FreeCAD? Okay. Alright. Okay, FreeCAD, you want to be that way? We'll be that way. Alright. do 3mm. Okay. And we will pad that 2mm. File save. Okay, we're good there. And now I need to do it on the bottom as well. Okay. All right, let me. Okay, and then we'll do just one of these guys. Why did you do that, FreeCAD? Okay. All right. Something it doesn't like in there. Do it one at a time. What the fuck, FreeCAD? There you go. Oh, you figured it out. Good job. Alright. Make that 3.5mm. And make that whatever. Close. And then we want to cut that out. 2.5mm. Alright. There we go. And yep, that'll index properly. File save. And then next we have to go back to the top mold and do a cutout on its bottom. And it's going to be radius 7.75 for clearance. Okay. Why didn't it do that? Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. And then we'll do our little centering point trick. I bet FreeCAD spazzes out again. No? Alright. And then we do 3.5mm and whatever that is. Close. And then cut 2.5mm. Okay. And then file save, and now it's time to bring it all home. How many people we got watching this thing? 1. Pretty sure that one person watching is me. We'll see. 2 watching. That means we got 1 other person. How you doing, 1 other person? All right. Let's do this now. We got to put this, that, and that, and that all together. So now, file, new, save as curly worm assembly, and then we go to A2 plus, and we do, let's start with this one, and then we'll add the bottom. That's going to have to get flipped over, and then we'll add the top. Okay, that's came in some weird orientations, but whatever. And then we need to do this. Those are parallel. This are axial. And then this and this are coinciding. Flip direction. Why is that conflicting? Probably this one is what's doing it. Really? Okay. It really doesn't want to do that. Okay. Maybe I can flip direction. There we go. Okay. Make those parallel. Except, there we go. That looks good. Alright. I might have too much clearance in there. What is that? I think it's a half. Okay, 1/2 millimeter. We're all right. We are all right there. And then we do one of these guys. Except we want to flip it. And then we'll make those parallel. And accept. Alright, and then bottom mold. Where's bottom mold? There. We'll do one of these guys. Except, there we go. Okay. Now we got our mold set up. Do file, save. And now we import the curly worm. Okay. And now this is where it gets interesting. We do that line we want. Okay. Accept that. And then okay. And then we want transform that down. Okay. That and that. Offset 2.5 millimeters the other way. Okay. That is looking good. I'll go ahead and hide the top mold. That's not quite what I want there. So I'm going to want to rotate that. Rotate it. Probably about there is good. Well, yeah, we'll do it like that. Yeah. That ought to do it. Okay. And then all right. We need to do, we're almost there. We're getting there. And then we do need another top mold. And I need another bottom mold. Okay. And I want this to be there. Like so. Flip direction. No, flip direction. That is right. Okay. Accept that. And then you and you. And you and you. Okay. And then I want you and you. Okay, and you and you. And you and you. There we go. File, save. And now we got our little canister mold. And we're ready for the big time. The last step. Alright. We'll go to the part workbench for this one now. And we're going to need to hide that. And then this will be where the fun begins. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. And then we do this. I knew it was going to do it eventually. Did it work? No, it didn't. Did I do that in the right order? Why doesn't it? Does not want to do that. Does not want to do that. All right. Why doesn't it want to do that? File save. Hmm. Let's try this. Nope. Nope. And then let's convert it to solid, maybe? Already is solid. I'm running out of tricks here. Check geometry. Run check. 0 invalid shapes. Okay. Can you hear me? Test, test. Alright, I think my microphone is back working now. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Alright, it is working. Alright, one problem at a time here. So why don't we try this now? Compound. Only the area like choosing specific items. Split objects. That almost worked. What did it do there? What did it do there? Okay. That's not what I want. Um, hmm. This one I dare. I don't know why it's not working. Why don't I do this? Maybe. Um, nope. Nope. There's one more trick I've got. Export to step. Export to step. Save. Okay. Come here. File. Import. Okay. File. Import. Okay, that should be the orientation it was in before. I do not get it. Why doesn't it like it? Alright. It does not like something going on here. What the hell? Shape element copy? No. Dun, 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 dun. Primitives. See, that's what I don't get. Then if I do that and that, what happens? I don't know. This should work. This should just work. I should not be having this much trouble with this. Um. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's do this. I just do not get that. I do not get it. Oh, I got one more trick up my sleeve. Transform. Okay. Edit cylinder. Okay. Alright. I don't, I don't, I don't get it. Um, why isn't this working? Why is this not working? Okay. You're out. You're out. Import. Okay, that's fucking whatever. Transform. Okay. And then we'll union those. What the fuck? Yeah. What the hell does it not like? Okay. We can do this. We have to be smarter. Smarter than the worm. Body part. Create a simple copy. Body 1. File. Export. Save. Yes. Yes. File. Save. File. Import. Okay. And now, just to see. Okay, made a hole. Alright. That's progress. Transform. Pull it up. Oh, look at that. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Okay. Now it's not going to work. What the hell? What is it? What is it not liking? I am really struggling here. I'm gonna do some reading. um, hmm. It doesn't like something going on in there. Okay. I wonder if it's the fillet that's throwing it off. We'll try that. It's not gonna work, but whatever. Interesting. Interesting. something there. Body transform. Okay. Fingers crossed. What the hell? What the?
Good. Be good.
She's like, I'll try, but no promises. Okay. I don't get it. I do not get it. If I move this up a ½ millimeter, watch this. Okay, watch this. Boom, boom, cut. It works. I'm dumbfounded. I am dumbfounded. I don't get it. Okay. Well, it's not the fill it. So we'll add that back because it looks better. I think it's something in here it doesn't like. Like there's a broken face in there somewhere. Let's do... What sketch is this? Sketch 4. Um... Okay. And but I don't want... Um... don't want it to come out like that. I want it to be more arc of ellipse maybe is what I want. Want this to be horizontal. This and that coincidence. This and this tangent. This and this. This and this. And this and this. 8mm. No, not I want this and that to be 8mm. Okay. Maybe that does it. Okay. File save. File export. File export. That save, yes, okay. And then we do part file import this. Okay. Transform. Move it up to right there. Okay. And it doesn't work. What the fuck? Well, let me think about this. I don't think it matters if in the mold, if I have it shifted down like that. I don't think this would come off easy. And so would the rest. That doesn't hurt anything having it shifted down like that. Alright. I mean, if this is what does it. Union those really quick. Fucking fuck it, whatever. Okay. I don't get that at all, but what are you gonna do? Alright. do that one and that one. Show that one. Show those two. And then we'll do this one in Fusion. Alright. Show Fusion again. And then do that one in Fusion. Cut. Alright. That should do it now. I cannot understand why that was doing it, but there you go. There we go. There's our little worm guy. Little wormy doodle, if you will. And next we gotta export these lure molds. Lure molds, lure molds. Quick change. Step. New folder. Curly worm. Okay. And then we do. Alright. And then here's what I'm gonna do. Those are all the mold pieces I need. And collapse those all down. Left hand top, right hand top, left hand bottom, right hand bottom. File, export, LureCAD, LureCAD. Quick change, step, curly worm. Center, save, okay. And then right hand bottom. Right hand bottom, save, okay. And then we do file, export, right hand top, save, and then file, export, left hand top, save, okay. And then we do file, export, left hand bottom. What an adventure we went on to do this one, huh? What an adventure. Alright, and now we've got the curly worm ready to print. Let me see if... let's see here. Alright. Yeah, I can throw this in bamboo slicer really quick. Open up bamboo. No. File, new project. Okay. Import. Step curly worm, center, open, Okay, and I think I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go to Window Capture Settings, FreeCAD to Bamboo Studio. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. Is that gonna fix it? It's got a broken surface there. Let's see if this fixes it. No. Nope, it did not. See, because now that's not rounded. That's all right. Something's still not right. You're fudging kidding me. Okay, go back to FreeCAD. Because this still isn't working. I thought we were good. I thought we were good. I thought we had this. Alright. Here's what we're gonna try. Here's what we're gonna try. Alright. I gotta delete all those. So those aren't gonna work for us. Body, we're going to do a create part. And then we're gonna do create a copy of that. Okay. And then we're going to go to the assembly workbench and then do curly worm. Lower CAD, curly worm, bottom mold center, which is the one we're struggling with so goddamn much. And then I'm just going to transform that down for now. And then add in bottom mold, add in top mold. Okie dokie. Bing, bang, boop. Not constrained to a fixed part. Alright. Alright, so it's gonna be like that, huh? It's gonna be like that, huh? Body 1, we want to make fixed part. Does that make it fixed? No. Okay. How to make part fixed FreeCAD. Fixed position property of a part to true. Does that help? I don't know. Let's see. Position. Properties. I don't see a fixed position property. Oh, FreeCAD, what the fuck? Alright. File save. File open. Open that mess. Delete, 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 delete. And why don't we just go ahead and do this while we're here? No. Okay. Import. Cancel that. Close out of that. Gonna try moving the file folder. Okay. Import curly worm. Alright. And accept. And then this face, this face. Negative 2.5. And then transform. Okay. Moment of truth. All comes down to this. So we'll do file save really quick. Part da da da. Fail. Do not get it. Alright, well, check geometry tool, I guess. Part. Check geometry. Run Boolean operation check. No errors. Part. Check geometry. Run check. No errors. This is getting really frustrating. Try slightly offsetting the cutting object or make it larger to avoid coplanar issues. It still gave me a bunch of non-fucking... Okay. That cut worked. And now, before I get too far ahead of myself, File, Export, Step, Curly Worm, Center, and then we're gonna save. Come over to Bamboo. You guys can't see Bamboo right now, but I'm gonna load it into Bamboo, see if it's got non-manifold edges. It doesn't. We are good there. I don't really like how rough that is, but it still looks kind of funny. What if I do this? We'll do part. We'll do mesh. We will create mesh from shape. Okay. File, export, STL. I really don't like that, but or you know what? No, that's not what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go back to Bamboo. delete that. File, import. Yeah, that's the step file. That's really rough. I don't want that. File, import. Make the angular deflection really low. Oh, that looks much better. Alright, we're good. We're good. We're gonna run with this. We're gonna run with this. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on there? I don't know if that's necessarily... Let me go back to FreeCAD. No, that is the geometry in FreeCAD. That's a bit strange. Curly worm. Oh, that's because it's an ellipse. Alright. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Get hyped. Go back to part workbench. Cut. Alright. Looking good. Looking good there. Top mold. Oh. Do a union. Top mold. Cut. Alright, I like it. And then we'll do fusion. And then I gotta hide those two and show these two. Okay. Cut. Show and cut. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare start with me. Oh, I'm gonna be so fucking angry. God damn it. Hasher mismatch. What the fuck does that even mean? God damn it. Alright. Alright. It's okay. We can... God damn it. This is fucking annoying. Alright. We can do this. We can do this. I can hear somebody saying now, oh, why don't you use Fusion 360? I normally don't have this many issues with FreeCAD. Now what the hell is it doing? Okay, here we go. Fuse. Alright. Bottom mold fusion cut. I am so fucking pissed off right now at this goddamn software. Okay. And now watch this. Watch this. Move it up. Alright. Now watch this. What the f... It was working. I am... Does that mean the center's gonna work now? What in the absolute hell? What in the fresh hell? Failed. None type object has no attribute remove splitter. Let's Google that. Let's see what comes up. None type attribute has no run type object has no attribute remove splitter. Let's see what Google says. Okay. FreeCAD. Um, Parametric defeaturing macro. Tools menu, add-on manager, macros tab. Parametric defeaturing. I don't know what the fuck that means, but alright. Macros. Or no. How do we get to... I don't want execute macro. I want tools, add-on manager, parametric. Parametric defeaturing. Parametric defeaturing. All right, we're trying it. Okay. Okay. Macros. Execute. Defeaturing failed. So what does that do? Actually, that didn't do anything. Cool. All right, well that didn't work. Problems with the program's logic where a variable expected to be string or list, and this has the remove or split method, a boolean or none. This often occurs to incorrect function returns. Okay, so what happens in Python when I do this? Resulting shape is invalid. Why? Why? What the fuck? Um, it's gotta have something to do with the helix. It just does not like that helix. Alright, we're gonna go back to our curly worm. Delete that. Show that. And I guess it doesn't like this. Anyway. Delete those. Delete the additive helix. Alright, and now I'm gonna do macro. I'm gonna do tools, add-on manager, 3D parametric curve. Type of, okay, this seems interesting. Run. Whoa. Close. Part design. File save. What the hell? Alright, I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is file save this. File new. And then I'm gonna do another helix. Alright, we're gonna get this to work. We will get this to work. I promise you that. Where there's a will, there's a way. Three millimeters. Anybody who's watching this, hopefully you now understand why I charge money for, well, these CAD files, because this is the type of stuff I go through to model these lures. Alright. This will be Okay. And we'll make those. They're not gonna shave. What the fuck? Alright. You wanna play that way? We'll play that way. That would be an interesting lure. If I could get this to work. And why, oh, this way. Alright. That ain't working. Can I do anything there? No. Alright. Delete that. Yep. And we're gonna do this. Direction. Okay. Alright. I think I want it 0, 0, -1, +1. Okay. Um, 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 um. Transform. There we go. Alright. Play displacement. Where's it at? It's 0. Okay. Z 39.5. And then the angle will be... shit. Okay. Transform. Right there. Okay. But what's odd there is why isn't it centered? I mean, that looks really well centered on that. If I do this from there to there, I do a distance here to there, I get not what I wanted. Transform over and down. Whatever, okay. Alright, we're getting closer. Getting closer. We're going to go back to A2 plus. Right? Whoa. Oh, no. No. We're going to go back to part. Okay. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Fucking hell. Fuck me. Alright. Okay. But then it works there. Why? Why? I do not understand this. It works there. Alright. Okay. I know what we're gonna do. Alright. Hell or high water. We will get this to work. I promise you that. Okay. You think I'm all out of tricks in my sleeve? You haven't even started to see the tricks in my sleeve. Oh, Oh, this pisses me off too. Look at that. And down there. What the FreeCAD. Alright. Alright. I know what I have to do. No, that won't even work. That's not even gonna work. Because I'm gonna have to think about this. Okay. We are having some serious struggles here. My regular way of doing molds is not working. So, file, save. We're going to leave this how it is. Yeah, that's still 8 millimeters. Okay. All right. Open. Bottom mold center. Front. The challenging part here is going to be making sure I've got it oriented properly. So origin, and we're gonna select this and part design, and then that, boom, 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 close. Do that. Alright, sketch. And then we're going to do a subtractive helix, reverse direction. And then pitch 7.5. And the height 33. Okay. And then we want a radius there. Okay. Look at that. There we go. Was that so hard, FreeCAD? I don't understand what was so fucking hard about that for you, but that seems like really difficult. Alright. That's enough mocking FreeCAD. We love FreeCAD. It is just being a little turd today. Bottom mold. Okay. And then I need to I don't know if it's gonna let me. I gotta think about this. Can I try this? I don't know if it's gonna let me do it, but it would be so much easier if it did. Alright. Mirror. Not what I wanted. Body. Mirror. It might be the Y. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Body mirror 1. Alright. And then can I go... Can I do this now? Union. Fusion. File save. Can I go back to part design? And then... now I gotta... I just want to see if it's even gonna let me do this. Because I don't think that it will. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. But what if I do this? Body mirror. Alright. Yeah. Not letting me. Alright. Do I have a clever way around this? No. Okay. I don't. Okay. Eight millimeters and then 3 millimeters. But I don't want it there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do a revolve cut, height 33, with a pitch of 7.5. Okay. Alright. Then I need to do that on the other side, so if I just do this, wait a minute, wait a minute, I might not need to do all that. Alright, stand by. Oh no, I do, because this is all jacked up. Okay. Yeah, because that's all jacked up. That would have been too easy, wouldn't it have been, FreeCAD? Okay. This is becoming insanely frustrating for me. 3 millimeter. Okay. 7.5 and then 33. Alright. File, save. File, save as. Bottom mold. We'll do right hand now. Save. And then put the sketch. Oh. I can't just do that, can I? Or no, yeah I can. Yeah. Yeah. I think that works. Doesn't it? Yeah, that works. Okay. Final save. Worm assembly. Do this. Cut. I don't need the tail. Yes. Don't really cut. Don't need those are those, and I can do that, and then file save, import, curly worm. Okay, and then we do one of these guys, and one of these guys. 5, and then we do one of these guys, and one of these guys. Accept. Alright. And then we do one of these guys. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This is... Oh... This is so infuriating. Alright. Okay. Okay, I'm not even mad. I am mad. I am mad. I'm a lot mad, actually. This is... this... Alright. Okay. Alright. There's an easy way to fix this. Okay. And then we do... Alright. Model. Sketch. No. do this again? Flat face. It's one of these. Alright, whatever. Alright, whatever. This is frustrating. Okay. Okay. Should have my audio back now. Yep, looks like my microphone's working. This is torture. This is straight up torture. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Alright. And I hope I'm doing this right. I really do. Okay. So 0.5. 33. Okay. Okay. Alright. There's that. That's done. Hopefully. Clench his teeth. Hopefully that's fucking done. Okay. Alright, we're okay. We're okay. You're okay, Sam. You're okay. It's all gonna be okay. Just look at the flowers. It's all gonna be okay. Alright. I don't know if anybody caught the Walking Dead reference, but not on me if you didn't. Alright. Oh, look at that. It doesn't line up. Why doesn't that line up? That should line up. Hmm. From there to there should be 8 millimeters. this 16 mil. Yeah. So why doesn't that line up? Okay, curly. I don't get it. Why? That that makes no sense. Um um okay. Okay. I don't fucking get it. What the fuck? There is no goddamn world where this makes any goddamn fucking sense what's happening right now. Um, alright. Shit. Okay, we're good. Alright. Um... Okay. We got this. God fucking. Alright. Top mold. Transform. No, not like that. This is going to be there. Okay. This and this are going to be concentric. That's fine. Does not need to be concentric to the curly worm. That does not. Okay. Alright, we're almost there. We are almost there. Okay. All right. We're getting there. Go back to the part workbench. Cut. That seems to have worked. Cut. Awesome. That seems to have worked. Cut. Alright. That also seems to have worked. Okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now. Okay. Okay. File save. Alright. Okay. Alright. Now I just need to do this part right. Alright. Part design, datum plane. Reference that face. Rotate 45 degrees. Okay. Mop, datum plane, sketch. Circle. Three millimeters. 8 millimeters. Close. Cut helix. 7.5. 33. Okay. We are getting really close. Okay. Hide datum plane. File save. Alright. Let's see if I did it right. And then hide that one too. Go back to A2 plus. Bottom mold right hand. Open. This and that should be constrained. Okay, flip direction. God damn it. I've only got like 20 minutes before I need to. Okay. And here's what we're gonna do. Transform. Rotate that over. Okay. And then we're gonna do placement. 0, 0, 0. I am getting so fucking frustrated with this. I can't even. Alright. Okay. Does that line up right? It almost does. It almost does. So then, what if I do... Yeah. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Alright. I'm done. I gotta fucking go to my grandma's Easter, so I'm done. Yeah. I will probably finish this up later on stream, we'll see.